Hello everyone, it's Annie here, and I'm going to introduce Chi-Chi Nwanoku to you, who is a British double-bassed and Professor of Historical Double Bass Studies at the Royal Academy of Music. The structure of our presentation begins with myself. I will be discussing the development theory. Susan, also on audio, will discuss happenstance theory. Suzanne will cover social cognitive theory. Cathal will present constructivist theory. Pierce will implement a guidance intervention, and Brenda will discuss diversity and conclude our presentation. This infographic maps the key stages of Chi-Chi's life as discussed on the BBC podcast. I won't go through each stage, as our group will be using these moments throughout our presentation. However, it is interesting to note that Chi-Chi's mother was Irish, her father Nigerian, and they met in 1950s London, which is also around the period development theory was evolving for super. Two passions of Chi-Chi are shown here on the right-hand side. They are music in the form of piano lessons and running. Running as a passion and pursuit ended for Chi-Chi though at the age of 16. Following this, music became her focus, which has led her to found Chininké, which is Europe's first professional majority black and minority ethnic orchestra in 2015. The meaning of Chininké is the spirit of all good creation, which leads me to try and use the development theory to understand how Chi-Chi came to create and live the life she has. Development theory combines two influences/beliefs. One, that career is a lifelong process, and secondly, the theory evolves from concepts of developmental psychology. Super is the main focus within this theory. His theory includes the integration of self-concept and the information about the world of work. Self-concept was theorized by Super as something unique to each person based on their abilities, interests, and values. This then changed over time, so does career development. In later developments of this theory, Super added in life roles, which is displayed here in the diagram. Super discussed how these influenced self-concept and thus influenced career development. Using Super's life stages and sub-stages, I've mapped Chi-Chi's progress according to each sub-stage. This presentation from here reads from bottom to top. The theory fits quite well in explaining Chi-Chi's life and career development. However, at points, for example, at 16, where she suffered her knee injury, and following on from the age of 60 forwards, I feel the theory doesn't account or align with the points in her life adequately. I will discuss these at greater depth in a moment. So, to go into deeper analysis of Chi-Chi's life, I will firstly begin at the growth stage. Interests at this stage are formed by exploratory activities and impressions of role models, according to Super. Chi-Chi has acknowledged that her father was profoundly influential in her life. This came across in a key moment when she says, "Twinkle, twinkle" was her first music lesson. At this time as well, she was competing for her school as a sprinter. Both of these interests and pursuits were supported by her parents. They sought piano lessons for her at the age of 7, and also supported her training for her sprinting. When Chi-Chi was at a competition for her school, a recruiter spotted her. And again, these two interests were fostered and explored by Chi-Chi's parents, all matching the development theory by Super in the growth stage. The next stage of development theory evolves in the previous growth stage. Chi-Chi's interests had caused her to pursue music to a level stage. However, sprinting had become her professional career path. Matching what Smart here states is the exploration of self and work, which occurs in the exploration stage. However, due to an injury at 16 and retirement from sports, Chi-Chi had to pivot and look elsewhere for her future. Quoted here, "I didn't know what having a career in music was." This came because both of her parents were in the medical field. However, her career was set about and navigated by her music teacher, who introduced her to the unpopular orchestral instrument, the double bass, which was something Chi-Chi before the age of 16/17 had never played before. This fact makes me question the substage of capacities within the development theory, as her capacity for this instrument was completely unknown. This is one of the areas I identified earlier as not fully fitting as well to explain Chi-Chi's career development under the umbrella of development theory. However, the rest of this stage of crystallizing, specifying does match Chi-Chi's 2-year crash course in learning the double bass and successfully gaining a place in the Royal Academy of Music as a student, who graduated several years later. Moving on to this establishment stage, where career advancement, stability or stable work environment, and opportunities of growth all can explain Chi-Chi's career progress, as she co-founded an orchestra at the Age of Enlightenment and was principal bassist for 30 years. So here, the development theory developed by Super matches. Again, upon examining her life through the lens of maintenance stage, the setting up of Chinenke Foundation seems to match, but not entirely explain the reasoning for something new transpiring. It suggests a choice of updating, but as this is something quite innovative, I question, does the theory fully explain Chi-Chi's cultural desire and rationale for Chinenke Foundation being set up? Her efforts with this foundation gain her recognition by being awarded an OBE for music in 2017. And then when I question the foundation as it's something very new, I have to question if this fully fits in the maintenance stage. The final stage of development theory is really where I feel this theory does not adequately explain Chi-Chi's life and/or career development. Disengagement is the transition out of work. However, Chi-Chi, through her Chinenke Foundation, representations and promotion, seems to be only getting started on her journey of ensuring Black and ethnic minority children have opportunities in the future. So in the traditional form, disengagement here does not align with Chi-Chi's career development. However, it has to be noted, in 1990, Super developed the concept of recycling. So we have to question, is recycling what Chi-Chi is doing here? Apologies. Recycling is where people go back to earlier stages, such as exploration or maintenance, and perhaps go forward from there in their career development cycle. So perhaps this is what Chi-Chi is doing and isn't actually entered the disengagement stage at all yet. Also, at this time, Super did note that his stages bear no relationship to age. However, this brings me on to the critiques of the theory. If age does not have a relationship to the stages, then why use it to put boundaries on each stage? Also, I have to question, do we all develop in the same way, as critiqued here? Another thing to be critiqued about this development theory is, if self-concept is something quite broad and incorporates many different things, and it's quite difficult to define, can it be relied upon as something that can be included within the theory? I guess more prominently, or perhaps the largest critique of all, is because this research of the theory was based on white males, how does it actually align with Chi-Chi, who is a woman coming from a minority group and who didn't have just one employer across her career? We have to wonder if this theory adequately covers cultural and gender developmental influences in anyone's life. These are the main questions I fostered when examining this theory and Chi-Chi's life. Thank you for listening. I'll now pass you on and over to Susan.